Yeah, I got some great news to report here. I was listening to Wendy O earlier, and she is predicting $25,000 Ethereum. Now, what I know about Wendy is that she is a very conservative predictor. So if she's predicting something like that, she must, like, with her connections, must know something.
Nice. That puts the sack bag just over 4 billion.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right, man. I think like if it goes to 20,000, that kicks HEX all the way up to $7. Goes to 25,000. We got like a $10 HEX, and goodness knows what PulseX is going to be doing. The PulseChain version of HEX. I can't really even think of like how high that thing could go.
Thank God for this man.
Woohoo.
Whoa, bringing us the hot news of the day. You know, Pedro, come back. We got a debate to do.
Yep. Y'all watched the Jackson Hole speech earlier?
I didn't watch the speech, but I saw the outcome yesterday morning. Everyone's like, "Oh, bearish. Oh, they're not going to cut grade." I'm like, "Come on, this got to be a joke, right?" And then Powell gets on there.
Yeah, I'm thinking October might be a time where we should take some profits, but I don't want to say like the bull run has begun yet, because still we got the Treasury above the 10-year above 4%. So I don't want to say it's begun yet, and I also think there could, when they do the first cut, there could be a pretty hard dip there. But then after that, that's when the bull run could really begin.
I like it. So you're thinking September rate cut, and then October, November start to kick off?
That's right. That's what I'm thinking. If we get the rate cut in September, because like there's still a chance that J Powell could decide not to do it, because we still got about 3.5 weeks before that meeting. But
fire him.
I mean, you take a look at the Fed and the makeup. Adriana completely up and ran out of nowhere. Like usually when somebody would quit the Fed, it'd be like months before they actually leave. They'd be finding a replacement. She just ups and quits like they were digging into her or something. And then the very next day on the other Fed governor, Cook, they are investigating her for mortgage fraud. So that tells me that Trump really wants to stack the Fed with all of his people, kind of like, how a president would want to stack the Supreme Court. And they want the Fed governors to be ones that would be doing his agenda of cutting and a weak dollar, which is amazing for us. And it tells me like what they're doing is they're doing anything they can. They probably got the IRS investigating all the Fed governors to do it with, or anything any dirt they can find on them. Kind of like, the whole Al Capone untouchables thing.
Yeah. Every time I look at Jerome Powell, he seems like he's trying to do the right thing for inflation and all that stuff. If I'm being a generous view of him, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, this president is here for number go up. So like, it's just not a good time, Powell. Not a good time.
Yeah. I don't hate Powell because I understand like why he's doing what he's doing, but still, like, hey, if you did 3 rate cuts last year, but you haven't done them this year, when we got like a lot more going for us, it makes no sense to me.
Yep. All right, everyone. I've had very few suggestions for debates in this thread, as I kind of expected as well. However, there was one I thought of that me and Pedro are going to get to initially to kick things off, because that's the idea on the table right now. There's another one here from Retarded Investor.
Who's 2025? You can't say that.
I don't monetize, so I can say whatever I want, I think. So how are we still down 99% after 4 years?
The 10-year Treasury is above 4% is the easy answer.
Easy for some. Most will not get that.
If you're slow.
I can break it down if everybody wants a deeper explanation on it.
We could do a meta debate with if you could imagine this avatar on the other side in a way.
If somebody can cosplay as him.
Okay.
Somebody cosplay, somebody go, oh, hi, I'm the investor.
Sloth, you up for that?
We could debate why HEX on EW is the best HEX.
Because it has the lowest liquidity.
It's the lowest liquidity. It could pump the most. It's only 10x off the price of HEX on Ethereum. Just saying.
This one's pretty funny. When 2 alphas meet, they both realize the name is Dick. See, I like that one. That's funny. You can post. You can chill if it's funny. How about that? Okay. I don't want to make that official rule in the comments, but if it's funny, it's less likely to be unkept We'll say that. Go ahead before me and Pedro get into it too, with how we speak to this this very loyal patron here.
Who wants to go first? Because I got a lot to say about that.
Bring it.
All right. So yeah, it looks discouraging that we're still down 99% after 4 years. But I've done this multiple times on my stream where I just pulled up CoinMarketCap and showed several other coins, even on page 1 of CoinMarketCap, that are down over 90%. And then when we go to the next page, we see a lot of things that are down 99%. So it's not uncommon. And the reason for it here, I mean, we're right in line with the rest of the market. And the reason for it is because the 10-year Treasury is over 4%. It's at 4.25 right now. And what that is telling you, what is communicated by the 10-year Treasury, why every financial analyst and investment analyst pays attention to it, why it's so important, is that it tells you how comfortable the investing public is with even investing, because a Treasury is supposedly risk-free return that you can get. And if people are not even happy with a risk-free return, or they're not even feeling that it's safe enough to go buy a 10-year Treasury that's supposedly guaranteed, and so they're not buying it, the price of it is going down because no one's buying it, so the yield is going up. And when that yield goes up above 4%, that's exactly what's being communicated, is that the public is not comfortable with investing. And it also gives more strength to U.S. dollar bills. That's why the Dixie, I mean, it's down today here. It went down to like 97.7. But the dollar strength is greater right now because you can put it into a Treasury or put it into a money market that invests in Treasuries and earn those handsome interest rates. So why would you take those dollar bills and put them into risk assets, especially crypto, the most risky asset? And then what else we could say about this 10-year Treasury is that it affects all other kinds of investments because it goes into what we call risk premiums. Like if I'm looking at a stock or if I'm looking at a crypto, I need to set a standard for what I call the risk premium, basically saying this is what I demand to get as a return to even think about taking risk. And the risk-free rate is part of that equation, but I want a little bit more than the risk-free rate. So really a risk premium right now would be something like at least 8%, but the higher that the risk-free rate, the 10-year Treasury is, the higher that risk premium is, and the less likely a risk asset is able to meet that risk premium and justify that kind of investment. Man, I go on all day about this right here. Like, you guys want more, or have I said too much already?
But can I ask a question? Hi guys, by the way, sorry. I'm
Welcome,
going
Pedro.
to speak like in. Hey man, sorry. Yeah, my internet kind of sucks, so I'm not sure if you can hear me well or not.
I can hear you.
On my
Can't
phone,
see
by
you,
the way.
so we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, awesome. But yeah, I got a question. So how do you explain, Bitcoin pumping from 20K to 120, or Solana, or fun memes, or I could pick like so many examples, right, of things that have been pumping for the past 1-2 years, right, including like assets on PulseChain, right, like PDI or other P copies, for example. So how do you explain that?
All right, let's take them all one by one. Because like Bitcoin, what we know about Bitcoin is that it is its own case here, because in past bull markets, it has always ran ahead of the rest of the crypto market. And that's just because it's the oldest, it's the easiest to buy, and it has the most holders in it and everything. And in this particular case right now, we're talking about Bitcoin ETFs. There's actually a Bitcoin mutual fund already too. And then you have the Grayscale was involved with it as well. And you also are getting to hear about government strategic reserves in Bitcoin. So it makes sense that those things are pushing it up. There's a lot more institutional activity in it, whereas all the other cryptos don't have that yet. They're all further behind before like institutions have even gotten to them yet. Solana, that's another case. It is an older one, and it has been doing a lot more activity in this cycle than it had in previous cycles. But also, we got to remember, Solana, it got beat down pretty bad before it had this great big run up. A lot of people were thinking after FTX that Solana was going to die and would never come back. So it really came back from the dead, which is making its current run look so great and everything, because when you're at 200, but you started at like $6 or $7, yeah, that looks awesome and everything. But we also got to remember, hey, Solana was at like 260 at the top of the last cycle, and it fell from grace from there. So really, a lot of what it's got right now is it's just got back some of what it had before. I think that like the highest it ever went to so far this cycle was that it kissed 300 for a little bit, but that was in December when everything was going up just before the last rate cut that brought everything back down. So that would be the story with Solana. I think we'd have to just look at all of these coins on a case-by-case basis for the most part, because there are some outliers, like especially on PulseChain. Like there are some outliers on PulseChain. We got like some assets that go up very well, but is it really an apples-to-apples comparison to compare a obscure meme coin on PulseChain or some other kind of small community on PulseChain to say the original HEX or PulseChain version of HEX? I don't think that's really a good apples to apples comparison. So yeah, some things are still going to have an outlier run at first, but I also think this here, like knowing what they're going to be doing with stable coins and how they're going to use stable coins via the Genius Act to make the Fed less, to make the asset market less dependent on the Fed's actions, and how they're going to use stable coins to bring down the yields on treasuries. I think none of these coins, not even Bitcoin nor Solana, has even done a fraction of what it's capable of, because really, Bitcoin hasn't even done a 2x yet from the previous top. This is good. Keep hitting me with some more right here. Like any other bearish like feelings or fears or anything I can alleviate, because this is what I like doing.
Iris, I'm sad because HEX is down, and I saw a meme coin on Solana that was up 50,000%. So why shouldn't I just go buy that instead?
That meme coin stay 50,000%? I mean, is it still climbing? Is it?
No, it rugged 4 minutes after that.
Exactly. Like you could possibly get that 50,000, but you got to know when to get in and get out at just the right time.
Yeah, I think like there's something to be said for price history, but also like liquidity history, right? When it's like we have now established beyond a shadow of the doubt that HEX is not a rug pull, HEX is not a scam. You know, there's even at the lows there is ample liquidity. Think what that liquidity will be at the highs, right? Because I think everybody on the screen here understands that if HEX does a 10,000x from the current, then its liquidity essentially will do a large number of x's, not necessarily 10,000x, because some of it will go into other things, but yeah, there'll be a lot of liquidity.
Yeah, we're still only at 352 million PulseChain version of HEX for liquidity right now. So still, that's just under $4 million there.
So if I wanted to buy 5 million PulseChain HEX, could I do that?
If you wanted to buy 5 million, well, with that much liquidity here, yeah, we could buy 5 million, but that's going to have like a major effect there on the price. So will your 5 million all get the same price? No, because like each time with each execution, it's going to push the price up for just about each token, kind of like a line of dominoes going upstairs.
Nice.
You're like the bear personal trainer. You're going to work them in, you're going to massage them into a bull. That's
right. That's right. Let's kill all the bears here. What else has everybody got? Anybody got?
Come on, chat.
Like nightmares or like any
what,
bearish
what
nightmares or things you see on Twitter?
What would you say to the person who's riddled with bear market PTSD after 3 years of going down minus 90% in our assets, and now they're scared of every pump that happens, that it's just going to be a repeat of before?
Sometimes you just got to shut the FUD up.
That's what we would tell them.
It's the first thing I'd say, yes. But here's the other thing is that, do you understand what causes bull markets to occur? What causes the number to go up. Because I'll tell you, the more you understand that, the more you understand the cause and effect of it all, the less bearish you're ever going to feel. Because when you know the process inside out, that, you know, first it's weakening the dollar, it's lowering the interest rates, it's the money printer going burr. Those are the things that cause the crypto bull runs to happen. Because you got to remember, our coins, our assets, what are they priced in? They're priced in dollars. The weaker the dollar, or the more dollar bills that are in circulation that need a place to go, the higher our asset price is going to be. And when we look at, you know, this past almost 4 years now, almost 4 years of bear market we've had now, when you look at it, we've had a strong dollar because it started getting really strong ever since 2022 when the bear market began. And we've had high interest rates. They were higher than they are today. I mean, like the federal funds rate went all the way up to 5.5%. So that makes sense that we've had a bad several years. But now that we're at a turning point, like a Fed is saying, well, we might pivot. We might pivot. I mean, there's still a chance that Powell could rug us coming up in September. But still, when you look at who's going to be replacing him, or who has the authority to replace him, and what he wants, what the president wants, and what he's willing to do right now with chasing some of these other governors out. I mean, maybe did you see that one press conference where they had their hard hats on and Trump was like trying to embarrass him right in front of the camera and everything? You can see he wants Powell gone as quickly as he can, and he wants that Fed playing ball with him as quickly as he can. They are going to pivot. They are going to have to turn around. So it is going to happen at some point where the dollar will start getting weaker, and as that dollar bill gets weaker, asset prices across the board, not just crypto, but stocks, gold, they all end up going up for that. Because you notice, like, historically, I think Sami pointed this out here, historically, stocks and crypto seem to peak at the same time.
Cool. Thanks.
When Sloth meets Cairo. I would connect people on stream here. I know every time we have a conference or event or otherwise, new people get to meet. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, man.
Pleasure.
Yeah. Pedro, you ready?
Let's
Let's take
go.
another call.
Yeah, man.
Is your body ready?
Go for it.
I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna lay out the case. All right.
Yes.
Hex,
Always.
the hex game versus the meme coin game. This little micro debate is about hex versus the game you're playing when you buy hex and hold hex and all that stuff versus meme coins. I had my AI draw up this based on some words I put together, and I'd like to start at the top. Probably hard to see, but I'll read it from here. Should I buy crypto? And they're like, oh, maybe I'll buy hex or maybe I'll buy meme coin. Which one should I get in PulseChain with? And then if you go the hex route here, you can see, oh, you bought hex, the future of finance. Cool. Yeah, everybody likes that. What do you do with hex? Well, you can stake it, you can hold it, you can LP, you can promote it. Maybe you get a 10,000 X at some point. You never know, something like that. So pretty cool stuff. Not a lot. There's a risk curve of everything, but boy, it's a little bit different than the meme coin, which we'll go through. So buy meme coin. Welcome to the party. What's your strategy now? You could hold it, you could trade it, you could LP with it, but big factor that a panel alluded to before. Go down. Hold on. Okay, sorry. Will the project rug? Did it rug? What if it rugs? Okay, let's see. Yes, it did rug. Wow, you lost everything. Oh no. But what if it doesn't rug? Okay, well, now you got to start the grind. Now you got to start becoming annoying. You got to get on everybody's posts. You got to shield on everything until you get blocked or otherwise. Got to spam those comments. Got to get in that Telegram. Got to tell people to buy. Come on. I have it back. Please buy it. What does it do? Nothing. Just buy it. Just keep buying it, please. And then you got to keep talking about it. There's a roadmap. Oh, they may add staking to it. Oh, may add this other feature. Oh, yeah, look at that. Yeah. And then you look at the liquidity. It's got $15 in it. Probably has about 5K the first week or so. And then also you got to keep comparing it to the hex price. You got to be like, oh, look, hex is down 99%. Haha, look at my meme coin. Look at the green candles. It went up last week. Look at it. It might go up more. Who knows? And then you got to keep saying Hart's Law, everyone. Hart's Law. You can do whatever you want. Hart's Law will save it. Hart's Law solves everything, and it gives me a reason to create every coin in the world. And then Hart's Law. You just got to keep screaming Hart's Law. And then all the toxic maxis, it's all their fault. No, they won't promote my thing. They won't give me marketing. Oh, no. And then everyone who criticizes or otherwise, have fun staying broke, bro. Have fun staying broke. We're over here with Green Candle Land. You broke land. You in broke land right now. You broke, bro. And that's about that. That's pretty much the end of it.
We're all Hexicans here, so I think it's okay for us all to admit this. How many of us bought the top? Because I'll bet I bought some at the top. Yeah,
You've made
we
the
all
top,
kinda
and I'm
did.
pretty sure I saw 20 cents.
Yeah. With most meme coins, by the time you hear about them, it's too late. Most people buy the tops on meme coins.
Yep.
Remember buying some PHEX at 10 cents as well, or something like that.
Now, I won't say that it's not. There aren't some successful meme coins. Of course, there are. I could probably name. I don't even like meme coins. I could probably name 5 off the top of my head that I've seen that have communities that last a long time, that seem to be doing something other than just a funny picture of something, and have all this liquidity and have all these other things behind them. I get it. Like, they can last and they can do stuff. And hey, you can make money and stuff off of them. But the overwhelming majority is just not going to happen. You're going to buy high and you're going to sell low, and it's just going to be like just rinse, repeat. And you just get in this cycle, and it's just another reason I'm not a big fan. So I just want to. That's my thesis of the difference between playing the Hex game versus playing the meme coin game. And I await Pedro's very academic and eloquently put rebuttal.
That's okay. That's a high expectation, man. I'll try my best. So
Okay.
for me, bear in mind, like I kind of heard like the things that you were saying, but my connection was dropping a lot, so I heard like half of it, let's say. But I saw the diagram anyways, like that you shared. Yeah, I saw the diagram anyways, like before I had the chance to read it. So I think I think the misunderstanding is, at least in my perspective, right? What utility is, right? Because everybody assumes that if you build something with utility, then the price will go high, or the probability that the price will go high, right? Each cycle increases, and I understand that. I understand that where that perspective comes from, but empirically that is not true, right? It can be true in some cases, but it's not true in other cases, right? So that's obviously my first argument. My second one is that meme coins are quite useful to build communities, right? And to attract people. And in some cases, these meme coins actually have good tokenomics, right? They have a limited supply, they cannot be minted, don't have admin keys, etc. Right? So they have a bunch of features that you can say there are cool features. Which means that there's absolutely no reason why those coins cannot, pump, like on every cycle, right? And I could, pick up the example of Dodge, for example, that has been extremely inflationary, and even though it has been extremely inflationary, they were able to build a huge community around Dogecoin, right? So. And you also mentioned that, right? So my case is only that utility. I understand the point of utility, but it's not a guarantee that the token price will go up, right? Because it's just not a guarantee, right?
I don't think the main point's utility, though. That's definitely one thing. But I think just the 6 years false operation, billionaire, backing it, all that stuff. It's like the risk is so much more with meme coins, because it is one of those enter low, sell high. Hopefully you can do it again 5 times to get rich. That's a very, very different game. So I'm pointing out, like, it's not even about utility. Like, yeah, of course Hex has utility, more utility than average meme coin, but it's like the chances of it rugging are so dramatically less, talking about Hex, than a new coin that just came out.
Yeah, sure. Like I can absolutely agree with that, like 100%, right? And yeah, there's absolutely no counterpoint to that. 100, like that's obvious, right? Hex has been around for 6 years. It's a DeFi product, so there's like rugging Hex means that people are selling only that, right? That's it. There's no like admin, like selling the coins, extracting liquidity. Let's say it's just people selling. People who own Hex, they just decided to sell, and thus the price went down. It's very simple. And in some cases in meme coins, right? You do have owners and admins with loads of coins that they can just dump, right? And that will happen for sure. And I can 100% agree with you, right? But in other cases, right? For example, pump.tires coins, right? Those are like some of them have good tokenomics, good distribution, distribution, right? Where you don't have, owners with a lot of liquidity, or most of liquidity is locked with an owner that has never sold. That's like stuff like, stuff like that, right? So there's absolutely no point saying that those coins cannot pump, kind of like forever, right? Because as long as the coins, get distributed well enough, right, through people that, through cycles don't sell that much, there's no point in me saying that it cannot happen, right? Like Dogecoin, right, for example, where people just hold, right? That's the reason why it pumped again, right? Because a lot of people who held Doge at the time decided not to sell, and thus the same thing can happen with other meme coins, right? So that's only my point, right? I'm not saying that it's better or worse, because like better or worse it depends on your perspective. What's better or worse, right? I would say that for most people, the majority of people in crypto, better means that the price will go up higher. That's it. That's what better means. I'm not saying that it is my definition, or I'm just saying that what I believe that most people think, right? That's the definition of better, right?
I'll go back to, there was one point that came from our last debate that I think was really good. When I asked you, which one do you think will mint more millionaires, HEX, or I think maybe we were saying HEX versus most, or HEX versus Memecoins. I forget what it was. And I think you remind me. I think you agreed with me that HEX will mint more. And that's, I think that, and I'm saying that because I think that's one measurement that's interesting to use is, better, worse. Okay, that could be subjective, but which one will make more people money? The biggest amount of people, rich. I think it's HEX. I think it's an easy win for HEX on that particular measurement.
No. I agree with you. Like compared to newer coins, sure, absolutely. But I also said, don't forget, if you compare HEX to Ethereum or Ethereum to Bitcoin, like it's going to be the older one, right? So it applies the same in the same logic, in the same way, right? So sure, HEX compared to newer coins, absolutely, you're right. HEX will probably meet more millionaires because it has more liquidity. So as the price goes up higher, right, you have more people who can exit, right? That's my only reasoning. And it's an older coin, right? So there's still a lot of people with a lot of coins, right? So in that sense, it will be easier for them, let's say, or perhaps a little bit easier compared to meme coins, just because they will probably have less liquidity. So yes, I can agree with you on that 100%. But don't forget that the same applies comparing HEX to Ethereum, for example, Twitter. So ETH will probably mint more millionaires, right?
Maybe. I will say that I think there's a compelling point to be made of will there be coins on PulseChain that do more X's than HEX?
Oh yeah, of course.
I could say yes. Yeah, I could agree with that.
Obviously,
will you, or will anyone listening be the person to buy it at the low and sell it at the high and actually attain more X's than they would by holding and selling HEX, or holding and buying HEX at the lows? That's a different story. Will you be the one to capture those gains?
Yeah, exactly. I can agree with you on that, right? Which is if you want probably less gains, less percentage gain, right? But more, kind of like reassurance, right? Because it's an older coin and it will probably still do many X's, right? Then sure, I agree with you on with every point. But we know that newer market participants like newer things, right? So that's why I'm actually super happy that there is a Pump Tires HEX, released by Richard Hart, because that's awesome. It's absolutely awesome because it caters to a different community, like different people, and we just need to accept that. Because I think what's kind of stupid is forcing something into people who don't care about that, right? Oh, HEX is the best DeFi coin. They don't give a shit about that. Honestly, they want cool things, right? They want cool things, and right now, for at least that's how I see it, right? I could be wrong. Obviously, this is subjective opinion, but they want cooler things, newer things like PDI, for example, that it had a crazy run the past 2 years, for example, and I'm sure the same will apply to other things, right? So it's very hard to force stuff on people that they don't care, they don't want to look, right? So I think it will be much easier to actually upsell HEX when HEX starts going up, right? It's very simple. It's
I don't think it's a forcing thing. I think it's a choosing to promote things that are, again, to me, HEX is rug proof as far as the contract stuff goes. I think it's proven itself over time. So I think even promoting things that are super risky. Just doesn't make sense. Like, okay, again, for me, for my particular example, I want HEX to win. So I want to promote HEX. And why would I go, even if I wanted other things to win too, like just the idea of promoting something that could totally just blow up or not be around in 6 months just doesn't, that's just like, I don't know. It seems like it's way too risky. And like, we always like laugh, oh, degen stuff, oh, risk stuff. Like it's almost lost its meaning. Like degen is like this, like people just casually think about it and joke around and stuff. Like that's, a lot of degens lose all their money. Like losing all your money is not fun.
Yeah,
like
we're way too jaded to that. To like
we
people
turned
from
it into
outside
something
of
different.
crypto, it's ridiculous, right?
But the same
To
happens
tell
with HEX, guys. Don't forget, like if the price went down 99.9%, like a lot of people lost money. The majority of people
0.8%, 99.8%.
yeah, like whatever, right? It doesn't matter, right? What I mean is like a lot of people lost money, like for sure, right? There's no other way around this. So I mean, like, what's the difference?
Tip,
Let me
go ahead.
step in here on this because, like, yeah, meme coins, they get a ton of hostility toward them, and then like the debates between like the believers and the skeptics get very hostile as well. But I think that like the spirit of the debate, at least to the objectors, I don't know if they make the case clear as far as like why they are not necessarily against these meme coins, but they see problems that meme coins are causing. Now, I'd headline this by saying, I love Hexy Bastard. He's a swell guy. I like the decks and everything. I mean, 9 Inch, it reminds me of my favorite band, 9 Inch Nails, which is going to be the only reason to go see the new Tron movie. But the danger that we see with meme coins is that it's taken something that we would like to present to new people, this entire crypto ecosystem. We'd like to present it to new people as something that makes sense, that if you put in the work, if you study what you're buying, know what you hold and why you hold it, you got a great investment thesis and everything, well, then you will do very well. That's what we want to present. But when meme coins are introduced, all that's thrown out the window, and now we just have randomness here, and it's a matter of, well, is this meme coin a pun on the thing that's hot on Twitter right now, whether it's about a girl spitting on dinglings, or if it's about a squirrel that died, or if it's about something else, as opposed to, say, like the reasons and theses that we use to invest in the core coins. Like now with HEX, what's the reason we invest in HEX? Well, it's because we can stake it to protect ourselves from dilution. We have the lowest liquidity. We know what the inflation is going to be, and we know that the founder really stands by that coin. Or if it's PulseX, well, we got a great reason to invest in PulseX because every time we buy it, we burn some of the supply and make it more rare. But when it comes to a meme coin, we don't really have anything like that. We just have, well, it's a pun on something, or it's this funny joke. And when we go down that territory and we try to present this to someone new who is already drinking from a fire hydrant with the amount of information that they've got to learn, and we tell them, yeah, there's this other thing here where it can pump, it might not pump, it's totally random. I think that causes a new obstacle for those newbies and those onboards that we just don't want to give to them. We don't want to overload them with more obstacles to the amount of learning curve that they're already going to have to do.
I mean, I understand that, but I don't think those are obstacles. Like if I say, oh look, there's like 20 meme coins launched by RH on pumped out tires. So what's the problem there? I mean, what's the downside? I honestly don't understand.
Ask the people that lost, got wrecked on them what the downside is, right? Like
no, but that same applies to HEX, man. You cannot say, oh, the downside. Yeah, but the downside exists with HEX. Like
yeah, but like over the timeline is the difference. Like a meme coin, you can get wrecked in a day, right? Like HEX went down 98% in over the course of a couple of years following the market. Like whereas on Solana, there's a meme coin rug every 2 seconds or something like that. Where people lose
I
all their
understand
money.
that, and I agree. But the ones that I mentioned, I mentioned 20 coins, right? 20 coins from the address of the pump tires deployer. Those coins did not go to zero. Why?
Because like in the case of like Pump and Most, the deployer address owns 80% of them.
No,
So
there's 20. There's 20. What about the others? There's 2 XRPs, man. There's literally 2 XRPs.
Like, well, there's more of them, yeah. But like those 2 big ones are more of the tokens were bought up in the initial launch
Sure.
than with all the others, right?
Yeah, sure.
So
But
I think that makes a big
I guess
difference.
the deployer bought like about 8% of the supply of the other ones, right? Like 80% of pump and tire, and the most 60% of Trump, and then 8% of the others. It's not 8%, but it's around 8%.
Yeah.
See, I think that like this would satisfy me. Maybe it would satisfy all of us here. Is meme coins. There is a place for them. Not saying we should never have any meme coins or anything, but there's definitely a place for them. They serve a purpose in the crypto ecosystem. But it's like this here. Penny stocks do not hurt or hinder the blue chips or even the small cap stocks in the Russell 2000. They're kind of like their own separate world.
Yes.
But when I go to buy a penny stock, every broker is going to tell you, hey, this is a penny stock you're buying. Do you know anything about it? You should read these disclosures here about what this is. Or they put a special label on it saying, hey, this is a penny stock you're buying. If you don't know what that is, call us. We'll explain it to you. Or maybe they make you sign something because the broker doesn't want to be responsible for that kind of risk. That's how it would work in TradFi. What I would appreciate is just something like that similar here in DeFi, where if we're going to buy something that is a meme coin, it's labeled, hey, this is a meme coin.
It's like, here's the disclosure. This is a picture of a euthanized squirrel, and you know that you're buying a community of people who want to support not euthanizing squirrels. And it's called Peanut with 2 T's. And I just want to make sure everyone understands that this is a joke and don't take it seriously. And wink, wink, don't buy it. And it can totally exist on Dex Screener. Just if you want to put liquidity in, that's fine. But just want to make sure everyone knows you're investing in a euthanized squirrel, anti-euthanized squirrel cult thing. And we hope it goes to the moon. But just to let you know, there's just like, it'll never happen like that. Though. It'll be like, no, we're gonna revolutionize the anti-euthanization of squirrels. It's like it will be this rally call that makes no sense, but it'll be no, I'll put $5 in. It's just but I'm with you. I'll just agree with you, Cairo, on the point of I totally think meme coins should exist. I've never said they shouldn't exist. I've said many times they should. I'm just not going to promote them over HEX, and that's my stance today. And I don't think they're a better product than HEX. And so that's my take.
Well, I think most of the tension can be resolved, or most of the debate can be resolved just with position sizing, right? Like the further down you go on the risk curve with potential for higher amounts of returns on a short timeline, the less capital you need to commit to such a play in order to make it move your portfolio. And then the ones that may take a little bit more time that have lower rug risk, but maybe won't perform as much in absolute terms, you can have a higher confidence of putting more capital there. And it really only takes one big win on a meme coin, or really just a low cap altcoin is really the things that we're talking about, new low cap altcoins. It only takes one win from those to make up for a lot of losers and to completely change the status of your portfolio. So these are games that, if you're willing to take on the risks, can give you big rewards, and all you really need is a small percentage of your whole portfolio to really make those returns work for you. So for me, when I'm talking to people about it, position sizing is always the place that I go.
Yeah, but what do people actually do, right? Like, it's like, oh, you see a meme coin, whatever, you think it's going to go up. Do they put in 0.1% of their portfolio? Or do they get excited and put in 50% of their portfolio?
Yeah. Well, what people do and what people should do are always very different things.
I have trouble with new people. Like, I just don't want to show them a lot of stuff like that, because it's like, I know because of human emotion, which I experience on the odd occasion, they're going to make a mistake in meme coin markets, right? They're going to go all in on something ridiculous. And sometimes maybe they get lucky, and that's great, but probably not.
Sometimes
those are very good opinions, right? And I can stand by them in the sense of like integrity, like good values. I understand all that, but in my perspective, what I want to show people is things that have the most upside. That's it. It's as simple as that, right? Whether they they don't sell and they get wrecked, or whether they sell at the top, they sell at a loss. It's not my concern, right? That doesn't concern me. What concerns me, in my perspective, right, is showing things that I believe will have the most upside, right? So it's as simple as that, right? It can be a meme coin, it can be HEX, it doesn't really matter. It's whatever thing that I believe it has the most upside, right? Last bull run, obviously it was HEX, right? Obviously, right? This bull run doesn't seem like it's going to be HEX, right? I'm not saying that it won't be because I cannot predict the future, but from what I see, right, over the past 2 or 3 years, it doesn't seem like it's going to be HEX, right? I'm not saying it won't have like, you know, a giant pump, it won't do like 10x, whatever, right? More, I hope. But yeah, I'm sure there will be other coins that will do like 1000x, right?
Well, let me read this one from, I wrote this in the Why Don't Monetize blog on airdrops, but I think it's got a lot of synergy with meme coins too. So airdrops, let's start with an example of popular way of distributing tokens or free money in crypto ecosystem. Yes, airdrops. What if, just like airdrops, free money isn't really that free? It comes with a price, regardless if it's upfront and obvious or not. With airdrops, regardless of how good or bad the project may eventually turn out to be, they almost always cost time, consciousness, and even other opportunities if you manage to convince yourself that this is the one that will make me rich if I just shill it hard enough. Just because money hits your wallet, especially in crypto land, doesn't mean it won't have social strings attached. I optimize for many things in life, one of which is avoiding things that aren't important or valuable enough for me to give attention. In a world where you can distract yourself until you die pretty easily, it's also what all the social media platforms are fighting for, along with your data and everyone else, some more and some less, that you encounter in your life. You need to actually see and hear people, things, or ideals to pay attention to them after all, right? So how are airdrops, attention, and monetization relevant here? I avoid most airdrops as well and only talk about or participate in ones these days from founders that I believe are being a net benefit to the community and rich our ecosystem, blue chips, HEX, PulseChain, PulseX, Inc. So in the best case, I make $1,000 on an airdrop. Okay, cool. But worst case, the project rugs and everyone who I showed it to, and they probably bought more of it, sees their bag go to zero. Nope, not worth the risk. I don't need the 1K so badly. I'm willing to wreck the people who follow me in the off chance it works out. Not a game I want to play. So that's my thoughts on it in relation to airdrops and why I don't, you know, I wrote that about airdrops, but yeah, that's a lot of synergy with meme coins too. Also, do you think any coin?
But don't forget that HEX was airdrop, man. Don't forget that HEX was airdrop to Bitcoin holders.
Bitcoin holders, yeah. Wasn't that auto staked too? Was it auto staked?
No. It wasn't auto staked. No, it wasn't auto staked. No.
You're like, it wasn't auto staked. I sold that shit immediately. No,
yeah. Exactly.
There was a time when airdrops like worked differently. I think people view airdrops very differently now than they did in the initial HEX airdrop to Bitcoin holders. It's not the same win or potential win it was at 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
I think Doge,
but wait, didn't PDI did like 1000x from the bottom or like 10,000x from lunch at some point? I'm pretty sure PDI did 10,000x from lunch, right?
And how many people captured it though? It's like the same thing.
But it's the same with HEX. Look, how many HEX, bro? Like how many people captured the 10,000x with HEX? Like
I think there's plenty of people who captured hundreds or thousands of X's, but yeah, who captured 10,000x? I mean, it's very very few people.
I mean, maybe I like there were videos I remember in the past. I don't remember who did them, but they were about the HEX liquidity at the top, right? Like how many people actually, like how much, like how many addresses sold, like how many millions, right? Something like that. And I remember it was like maybe between like 30 to 50 addresses that sold over like was it $1 million, something like that? Maybe I'm botching the numbers, but what I remember is that it weren't that many addresses, right? So like not many people captured the top like independently of the coin, right? Like HEX was no exception to that. Like it is what it is.
But you'd say meme coins are a trading game, right? Buy high or buy low, sell high.
Buy high and sell low, yeah. Exactly.
I mean,
depends which end of the game you're on.
Either way,
like there's always a winner and there's always a loser, right?
Sure.
And the most traders win or lose.
Sorry.
The most traders win or lose.
No, I agree. Like, look, at the end of the day,
it's just a different game. That's what I'm saying. It's just a different game.
No, it can potentially be a different game, and this is what I don't like at the moment, right? Which is, like, we all believe that HEX is going, the price will go up, like obviously, right? We all believe the same thing, but the price hasn't gone up yet, right? So it's still a belief. It's still a belief because we don't know. So far, what we know is that HEX like went from whatever to whatever, pumped 10,000x and then dropped 99%. That's what happened, right? So we don't know what's going to happen in the future. We all believe the same thing, right? That the price of HEX will go up, but we don't know, right? So it's still a belief. It's still a belief, right?
If HEX goes up 100x, do you think it'll be still as easy as it is today to onboard people to PulseChain with meme coins? Or do you think showing them a price chart like HEX has?
Like both, it's even better. No, I think it's even better because like if HEX does 100x, I'm 1000% sure that there will be plenty of meme coins doing like 1 million X's. So I mean, it will be even better, right? You
the
can
comparison.
show
I don't know. Is this a Hart's law thing? It's just everything can work because Hart's law. I don't know. I'm so
no.
I'm so
because
it's like yeah, if the liquidity is paired together, sure, it can go up, but at the same time, if it can go to zero, so it's like I don't know. I think the Hart's law and the risk cancel each other out pretty much.
No. Look, there will be coins going to zero, but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if HEX does 100x, it's very easy to understand. There will be a lot of coins doing much more than that, right? And that's not a bad thing, right? It is what it is. It's newer things, less liquidity, etc., right? So it's normal. So it's even easier, right, to onboard people into PulseChain because we have HEX doing 100x. We have different like meme coins doing like much more than that. So it's even better, right? Like it's a win-win, right?
Yeah. And just as an answer for them too, Freddie Maxi has live cycle utility. I've literally not said anything about the utility of HEX the entire debate. I just want to mention that. Like I said you can stake it and you can't do that with meme coins. Do I prefer things that are interesting DeFi products? Yes. And I think I probably always will. I don't think I'm ever going to change. I'm never going to be interested. I'm probably never going to be interested in meme coins. Like, I don't know. Again, I'm not going to set myself up to never change in any way, but I'm probably that just doesn't interest me. I like DeFi protocols. HEX is a great DeFi protocol. So whether it has utility or not, it's a DeFi protocol that helps do CD blockchain yield, all these different interesting things, along with many other protocols in PulseChain. So it's not like this, I only want utility to win. My point for this is I think meme coins are uninteresting and much more risky than, for example, HEX and other protocols like it for the reason I've mentioned. And I think more people are going to win with HEX than they are going to win with meme coins. So it's not even, I don't even frame it as like a utility or not utility type of thing. It's just not an interesting product. And I think HEX winning means a lot more, even beyond the price chart, even beyond these things. I think it's richly successful and go do longevity research, all that stuff too. There's a whole bunch more to that I think is important, that these things are successful and the core products succeed. So it's not, wouldn't frame it as a utility argument, but of course I like utility more than not utility because I don't like looking at pictures and trading coins and hoping one goes up. I don't know. Like, it's so weird to have to defend that. It's weird to have to defend liking something that does something. I don't know. That's where we are in PulseChain. I feel like I like it because it does something. It's like, no, you should like the thing that doesn't do anything, but it does this. It does this. It's like, I don't want to like that. I'm probably never going to like that. So
I might have like a middle ground here on all of that because
go for it.
I think we've heard like Richard himself say that the greater the utility on a coin, probably less likely it's going to have or less price appreciation it's going to have, or the more use cases it has, the less price appreciation it might have and everything. Like what utility does is it gives the coin a reason to exist and stay beyond its first cycle. But what I think we really want to look into is what Richard himself has coined for what he wants us to look at, and that's pumpamentals. When I look at HEX, it's got the pumpamentals. When I look at PulseX, it's got the pumpamentals. Inc. definitely has it. Even PulseChain has it. And by those pumpamentals, what we mean is like, well, does it have a buy and burn? Or does it have some staking mechanism that allows the holders to uphold the price and protect themselves from dilution? Does it have low liquidity? Because really that low liquidity, that is what creates the winner. Like, we know that it's the money printing that makes the coins go up. What makes a coin go up more than anything else is the low liquidity. So when I'm looking at a coin here, I'm not necessarily looking at, is it going to be a popular meme that's going to get a lot of attention? And I'm not looking at, is it going to have a lot of utility? I'm going to look at what Richard coined as pumpamentals, because we're all here just to make money. Like, I don't think anybody of us here is going to say, oh, I'm in it for the tech. We make fun of those people. We're all here to make money and everything. But
I might say that.
See ideals succeed. I would add see ideals succeed. I think there are ideals that are worth succeeding in the world. I think Richard's got a few of them. So That's
There are
RHMax
ideals.
raise.
Yep,
There's
there are
that, yeah.
ideals that we want to see.
But yeah, money good though. Money good though. Yeah.
Money go up though. But like, here's another thing I'll also say though is that when it comes to crypto itself, and this is like really what attracts me to crypto and keeps me hodling for as long as I have, is that crypto is one of very few assets in the world. One of very few assets in the world that is not somebody else's liability. And I think that that is definitely true when it comes to coins with the large pumpamentals, and certainly the Richard Hart core coins. When it comes to the meme coins, I'm not so sure I can say that. I'm not so sure I could say that just because of like how, with how much regularity many of them rug. Like, yeah, some are going to stick around, some are going to rug, some are going to go up, some are not, some will disappear. But I don't see them as being an asset on par with the other coins.
One more comment before we wrap up here in a minute. Good comments, by the way, Ferdy. I appreciate the comments. DeFi is boring compared to Richard's memes. I really think that is, I don't share that sentiment, but I think you've hit it on the head of like what a common sentiment is in the ecosystem, where people over the bear market have become jaded with DeFi, or they've just been like, yeah, this thing is, it's got this Rube Goldberg machine, or it's got these protocol. Like, I don't care. Like, what's going to make me money? This thing went down a whole lot. Like, I've lost money. I don't want to lose money anymore. Give me something that makes money instead. I think that is a common thread, even though I could see in the community as well. And I think the thing that makes memes popular and attractive to people and all that. So what do you think of that? Do you think DeFi being boring, or at least boring in the sense of, I guess I would say from that, the price going down in a lot of DeFi protocols has pushed people into meme coins?
I think there's seasons, right? Like there's been an extended meme season this cycle, and certainly on PulseChain, just due to, the way the cycle worked. But I think there'll be like a DeFi/utility season at one point, where people will be like, okay, I want things with utility, and that it will become much more exciting.
Yeah, meme season was a lot longer this time around here just because the main assets on all the different chains were so suppressed, like the top L1s and everything. And of course, all the, I guess you could call them blue chip coins up in the top 100, 200 of coin market cap. That all goes back to the 10-year Treasury and a real strong dollar, because when you got those big boy coins up there, it takes a lot more money to push them up. We don't have those market forces just yet to bring in that supply of money to push those coins up. So people are just looking for whatever they can to make money in the meantime, and that's how meme season is born, because they don't take a lot of money to pump and produce the returns that they get. But once that dollar index weakens, once that 10-year Treasury comes down, I mean, Trump wants it down to 2%, Bessent wants it down to 2%. When we get that, you could throw a dart, you could throw darts at a printout of the first page of Coin Market Cap, or the first 5 pages. Pick whatever the darts land on, buy those coins, and you're going to be getting 10x's, 20x's, 30x's. That's how powerful the money printing is going to be when it finally comes.
Will we all be able to afford Sydney Sweeney posters for our bedroom walls?
We'll be able to like afford a date with Cindy Sweeney.
She'll be doing HEX.
My wife would object.
Yeah. Should be like doing an auction. Like back in the old days when you auction yourself off as a date, or there was an episode of the Batman animated series where he was being auctioned, Bruce Wayne was being auctioned off as a date. It'd be like that.
Bachelor auction. We did that live here the other day. I was auctioning off Kong, I believe. It didn't go that well, but we'll try again.
We should do that instead of a sacrifice next time, maybe.
We could sacrifice Kong. Kong, are you in the green room? Do you comply? No, yeah, you definitely don't need to buy any posters, but you can afford one at least. They may be, she may become that popular at some point if she keeps not being infected by a virus that they call woke.
Yeah, we can afford her genes, that's for sure.
Gents, awesome debate panel. Appreciate you all. Pedro, you brought your best. Appreciate you phoning in. 4th time phoning in. Appreciate it, man. Sloth, Fast, Cairo, awesome job as usual. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah. Come back around.
Yeah, man, my pleasure.
What is up next? We got Super Steak with Kyle, and then panel. Anybody who wants to come back for the panel at 7:00 Eastern, feel free. They'll be the last panel for HEX week. Oh my god,
yeah, it'll be a little bit later than 7, right?
Yes, yeah, good call. Probably let's see. Oh, it's almost 7 now. Yeah, probably 7:15.
Okay. Yeah, everybody that's here and like everybody in the chat, like come up with all of like the bearish sentiment and everything that you want me to slaughter, and I'll come back for that. So you got any bearish thoughts? Write them down and bring them to the HEX panel, and I'll slaughter them then.
I like it. Anyone having any bearish thoughts? Are there bearish thoughts in the room? Are they in the room? Write them down. Let Cairo take care of them.
Make it like a gauntlet.
The bear exterminator. I like it.